Hello, welcome to my tax group, Tax School Tutor TC. I tried to switch the front page so it looks more like taxes, but I don't think it's going to work. I'm going to have to redo it again. So today we're going to talk about more client stuff because I want to get into more of the 1040 because there's two, as we all know, 1040 and the 1040 SR. The 1040 SR is for what? People 65 and older. Yeah. But or people who are considered seniors already. Yes, I have a cat behind me. But anyway, so we're gonna go there. So let's start at A. I made a list of everything we're gonna talk about today. I don't know if you can see. And I just let's start with itemized deduction. Itemized deductions is what schedule. Let me see if I can hold it up there. Schedule A. If you don't have a copy of this, print a copy of it. Go to Google, type in Schedule A, Form 1040, and make a copy. Let's start with medical and dental expenses, taxes that you paid, interest you paid, gifts to charity, casualty and theft losses, other itemized deductions, total itemized deductions. It's not a long form, but there's a lot to it. Some people prefer to itemize compared to doing a 1040. If they have more, like state and local income taxes or general sales, state and local property taxes, home mortgage interest and points. Also, there will be a question on your ITC about home mortgage interest and points. If you didn't use all of your home mortgage loan to buy, build, or improve your home, if you've got the Schedule A, take a look at the interest you paid. Number 8. I don't have my Sharpie with me. No, we're not doing that. My cat is going to knock everything over. Number 8. My cat wants to get involved today. And he's trying everything he can. All right, so we're going to go from there. Now I want to go to other forms that you're going to need. You're also going to need the Social Security, and it comes in different forms, but you'll be taxed on up to 50% of your benefits if your income is $25,000 to $34,000 for an individual and $32,000 to $44,000 for a married filing jointly. Up to 85% if your benefits, if your income is more than $34,000. So let's say you're on Social Security and you made $22,000, but you also made wages up to $30,000. You might want to take a look at that. You might want to take a look at that as you go. You may not need it. You may need it. The computer will actually let you know, but make sure that the thresholds are where they need to be. If somebody comes in and their income for Social Security is only $17,000, and we had a scenario on that, their income was $17,000, nothing else, they didn't need to claim. But because of stimulus, they may have wanted to claim to make sure they were getting their stimulus. And we'll get into the stimuluses later. But right now, for 2020, because you will have a scenario that you will need to fill out, and you're going to need that tax table. Another, know your Q&Rs and your Q&Cs. Qualifying relative and qualifying child. Know what they are, know what they mean. Write them down. Interest and dividends. We're going to get there probably in the next session. because I kind of want to move on to military. You're going to have some military questions and some clergy. And I want to slow down for a minute because I want to give you the definition of the question that you're going to be asked. Military. Definition: the state where one has his or her true permanent home. Now, if Jay, who the scenario is going to be about, is from Michigan, and that's his home, which is another word for domicile. You're going to hear this word a lot, domicile. And I hope I'm saying it correctly. But his domicile would be Michigan. I mean, he could be stationed in Texas, Florida, California, Kenya, Kuwait, plenty of places he could be stationed and living there for years. But his home, where he's from, is Michigan. So that would be his domicile. And why is that? Because he is a U.S. citizen. He's considered a U.S. citizen. And he lives in the U.S. And even if he decides, being in the military, now if he's in the military and he decides to move to Kenya, you're looking at a completely different story. But I don't want to go and get that far ahead of you. So we're going to keep it simple for the ITC test. The definition of domicile: the state where one has his or her true permanent home. So now I'm going to give you this scenario. Before, like I said, good morning, Terry. Good morning, Josh. Good morning. Morning, you guys. Yeah, I know I forgot to say it on the little thing. But we're going to get into this because we've been losing power today, and I'm not sure if I'm going to lose power or not. So we're going to try. So the scenario: Jay and Lily was married. Jay's home was Michigan. Lily's was Kansas. Where would Lily's domicile be? And I can guarantee you this is going to be a question that'll be on your test. And I should not give you the answer. You need to think about it. Where would her domicile be? Now, say, for example, Jay and Lily, they're married. We know this. Jay's home is Michigan. Lily's is Kansas. But Jay's doing his time. He's doing his military duty in Texas. And they're staying in Texas right now on the base. Where would his domicile be? Think about this question. Because like I said, it will be on the ITC test. Clergy is all over the place. You're going to get about 3 questions. Let me go back to military a little bit before I hit into clergy. I want to slow down and make sure that you understand that you're not going to get a lot of military taxes your first year. Someone who's a little above you will get them. But in the event, it may help if you know the scenarios. If somebody's in your office and they're new as well, and you're new as well, and you don't understand, make this a question you write down and keep. Keep this in a keep book, something safe, because you may come across a point where you may need to know this. Like I said, Jay and Lily were married. Jay's home was Michigan. Lily's was Kansas. Where would her, not his, her domicile be? Domicile is a big word. Google it. Give you definition, write the definition. Again, I said the state where one has his or her true permanent home. Okay, so I'm going to move and we're going to go to clergy. And I'm going to take a minute here before I end because I wrote a bunch of stuff down today. So now we're going to go to clergy. I'm not going to do the scenario first. I'm going to go right to the definition because for clergy, you have to understand a lot of church is self-employment. Even though it's things happen, cats get on your nerves. He's trying to get on the table anyway. Yeah. See him? He's in slow-mo back there. Okay. He's actually getting me kind of angry. I'm blocking him from getting into the window. Really need a bigger office. But let's get back here. For clergy, you got to understand the meaning behind clergy. So I'm going to read to you the meaning, the definition, and then we'll get to scenario. The definition, regardless of whether you're a minister performing ministerial services as an employee or self-employed person, all of your earnings, including wages and offerings and fees you receive for performing marriages, baptisms, funerals, etc., marriages, whatever your cup of tea is, if you're making an income of any kind, you need to report it. Are subject to income tax. Now, clergy is a little bit different. I wanted to write in licensed or commissioned for which they were employed are those of a minister. So I bought my cat a flippity fish. Never touched it. And right now he's dragging that thing around the room. And that's that noise you can hear. That's funny. He's trying everything he can to get me out of this window. So again, if you're clergy meaning regardless of whether you're a minister, performing ministerial services as an employee or self-employed person, of your earnings, including wages, offerings, and fees, you receive for performing marriages, baptisms, funerals, etc., are subject to income tax. Now, whether it is self-employment, most of the time it is, or non-taxable, you're still going to need to put that in there. You're going to need to put that, and part of the scenario I'm about to tell you is why. And a minister for tax purposes, if ordained, licensed, or commissioned, for which they were employed are those of a minister. Now, there'll be a couple of questions on your ITC about clergy, and it'll ask exactly this. But I put it on there. You're not going to know. I kind of blended it in and gave you a couple. Let me get a drink really quick. You're not going to know what the questions are because I kind of turned it around a little bit to make it easier for you. So the scenario, Verma Smith lived in an apartment. The church gave her $4,000 a month for rent and bills and a total of $32,000 in wages for the year. What does she claim? Now, this is a basic question. I didn't put everything in detail because I want you to learn it. Follow through with the question. And it's trying to cut out on me. So if it cuts out, guys, you're going to have to make another part 2. The wind is blowing like 60, 70 miles per hour outside. So we're going to keep going and see what happens here. So hopefully it doesn't freeze it on me. We'll see. I'm going to keep talking. And if it does, then I'll repeat this again on Tuesday. So, Verma, and you know, I post all this on my Facebook page. If you don't have Facebook, that's fine. I can send them to you privately to your email. But you need to send to me this. A lot of people don't have Facebook and don't care for it. But I have all these scenarios and more questions. And I have more stuff about passive income and all the other stuff we've been talking about, definitions, on my Facebook page. And it's the same. It's Tax School Tutoring ITC, free. And So we're going to do that. So again, Verma Smith lived in an apartment. Church gave her $4,000 a month for rent and bills, a total of $32,000 in wages for the year. What does she claim? Does she claim that $4,000 for rent and bills? And why does she? Or why doesn't she? We're going to get more in detail about that military and clergy. But I don't want to push too hard because I know the ITC is coming up. And I want you to make sure those are aware. So now I'm going to move on to interest and dividends just a little bit. I'm going to have to cut it short today because YouTube is telling me it's dying quick. So interest and dividends. Interest income is reported to the taxpayer on Form 1099 INT or substitute statement. You may get something from a bank or something else other than the 1099 INT. So that's with interest. Dividends are reported on 1099 DIV or sub statements or payments too. To shareholder individuals who own stock of corporations that represent the shareholders' portion of the corporations. Profits, dividend income may consist of ordinary dividends, capital gains, distributions, or non-taxable return of capital distributions. And I'm going to stop there because YouTube's trying to cut me off. So I want to read a couple more things that I printed. Let's see where I can go here. We did the Social Security thing. The 1040 SR, interest and dividends, military clergy. Schedule A, the itemized deductions. We're going to finish there. I'm going to do a scenario with Schedule A, but I'm going to do it differently. I'm going to paste it on Facebook because I want you practicing a little bit more detail with your ITC training on this itemized deduction list. So I will repost that on my Facebook later when hopefully our internet doesn't go down today. If it does, I may be posting it tomorrow. This storm coming in is just insane, and it's been knocking our power out most of the day. So I'm hoping you got all this. We're going to call it quits today. Remember, if you have any questions about the military and clergy, you can ask me. TinaPsych@yahoo.com, or go to my Facebook group photo and look for Tax School Tutoring ITC. And we'll go from there. Hopefully the wind will die down or something will happen because it's thundering now. And we'll have a good day. We'll have a good shoot. And I will see you on Thursday. Thursday, we're going to get into more and more and more. Because even though we've been talking scenarios and publications and Schedule Cs, I know the ITC is coming closer. The test itself is coming shortly in November. So I want to get as much out there as I possibly can. Thank you, guys. Have a beautiful day. Peace out.